There's been all kinds of talk lately about whether Bill Clinton is helping or hurting President Obama's re-election campaign. Some even refer to the two as frenemies, especially after Mr. Clinton's comments praising Governor Romney's record at Bain Capital and calling for an extension of the Bush tax cuts, something the current president, doesn't like. The off-message remarks later walked back by former President Clinton. According to Politico, the comments even took Mr. Clinton's staff by surprise. Politico writing, quote, Clinton's team was as aghast as Obama's at how the boss had wandered blithely into remarks that left even sympathetic listeners wondering what exactly he was getting at. He also gave gleeful Republicans an opening to skewer Obama with a popular Democrat's own words. So what is Bill Clinton really up to? Let's get a fair and balanced debate underway. Joining us now, Gretchen Hamel, Executive Director at Public Notice, and Donna Gentile O'Donnell, an advisor to Democratic Senator Bob Casey, and a former staffer for Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell. Welcome to both of you.
Hi.
Donna, you know Clinton well. I know that you worked very hard on his campaign in Pennsylvania and elsewhere. What's going on here? Is this just Bill Clinton being Bill Clinton?
Pretty much. I think I was surprised that his staffers were surprised. I think it probably says that these are new staffers, not people that have known him for a long time. But I also think that it's important to remember, Bill Clinton is not your standard surrogate. He is a former president, he has his own ideas, and he loves being in the arena. I think he's prepared to engage the debate in a manner that benefits President Obama, but I also think that he is really interested in ideas and deliberations and discussion. And even though President Obama and President Clinton agree on the strategic goals of this debate, they have tactical differences. And so I think that that just has found expression in this tempest in a teapot.
Talking about tactical differences, Gretchen, I wondered about this. Both of these men both beat Republican opponents fairly handily to win their first terms in office. And then both of them, I'm talking about Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, both of them got spanked in the polls in the midterm elections and each lost the substantial Democratic majorities on Capitol Hill that they had been using to get their policies through. Bill Clinton then went on with Newt Gingrich and members of the House, the Republican House, to balance the budget. Is that a lesson that Barack Obama should take in working with the Republican majority, at least on the House side?
It's a lesson, but it's a lesson that he should have learned 2 years ago. The President Clinton, actually also reformed an entitlement program, welfare, and you mentioned balancing the budget. He found ways to work with Republicans. Now, it wasn't easy. He did veto things a few times and sent them back and said, bring it back to me, but they did find a way to work and for the betterment of this nation, and I think that's really what voters want right now. Now, this is a former president who has his own ideas about policy, and frankly, they just have the added benefit of being on the right side of policy and also looking like he's taken a dig at President Obama, who did defeat his wife just 4 years ago this week.
Yeah. Donna, we mentioned that you're also close with Ed Rendell. Ed Rendell has been suggesting that extending the Bush tax cuts might be a good thing, at least for the short term.
Well, Ed has his own views. I can't say that I agree with all of them. I agree with the president on this. I think, I guess it's a fair question to ask which president. I mean, the strategic goal, I think, is the same. The tactical issues are really what's at issue.
All right. So is there going to be some big meeting, Gretchen, between these two camps to say, okay, from now on, Mr. Clinton, you can only say this?
Well, you know, like I said, he is a former president. He is not going to be a parrot for anybody. He's not just going to go out there and read off a bunch of talking points. He has his own ideas on policy. He's a big thinker, and he's been on record about these taxes before. I mean, let's look back at when we were here 2 years ago. It does seem like Groundhog's Day when we were talking about the taxes and them expiring 2 years ago. The president said, President Clinton said, I would not raise taxes in a time like this, in these economic times. And I don't think this is him straying too far off the message and the stances he's taken. So for him to not stand by his words is not him not being genuine and him not, representing his beliefs and where the policy should be.
Donna, does Bill Clinton eclipse Barack Obama in terms of his star power when he says some of these things?
I don't think so. I think President Clinton is well regarded by Democrats across the country, certainly by some Republicans. I think there is a measure of regard between the two presidents. You know, the fact that Hillary Clinton is his Secretary of State and has served so nobly in that role. The Clintons have complex and layered relationships with an awful lot of people, but I think it's fair to say that the goals of the Clinton are unanimous with President Obama's goals, and that is to move the country forward. And that really has to be the conversation. These small differences remind me of Will Rogers. You know, I don't belong to any organized party. I'm a Democrat. I think that's really what's at work here.
All right. Well, I guess everybody wants to see the country move forward. Thank you both for a good debate.